If you're like most people, you probably think about money a lot. Whether it's how to make more of it, how to save it, or how to not let it control you. Today, we are diving into something that can change the way you think about money. And I don't just mean getting rich quick or building a massive portfolio overnight. Nope. We're talking about something way more powerful, the psychology behind money. Yep, you heard me right. Money and your brain. And we're doing this through one of my favorite books, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. So buckle up because we're about to explore how your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are the real drivers of financial success, way more than anything you ever learned in school. Let's break it down into digestible, relatable bites so you can walk away feeling smarter and more in control of your financial future. Ready? Let's go. Lesson number 1. Money is a tool for freedom. Alright, first up, let's talk about the big picture. The one thing that almost everyone wants out of money: freedom. Not the freedom to buy the fanciest car or the most luxurious house, but the freedom to live life on your terms. See, a lot of us get caught up thinking that money equals stuff: big houses, expensive gadgets, designer clothes. But Morgan Housel flips this on its head. He says that true wealth isn't about what you own, but what you can afford not to buy. Think about that for a second. It's the freedom to wake up without the anxiety about your bills, your boss, or even whether you can go on vacation next year. It's the peace of mind that comes with financial security. Now, this doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy the fruits of your labor, but it's about balance. A big paycheck isn't going to give you freedom if you're constantly living paycheck to paycheck. If anything, it just increases your need to keep up with the Joneses. And we all know that road leads to stress and zero freedom. Lesson number 2. The power of long-term thinking. Alright, let's move on to a big idea in this book. And I mean big. Housel talks about long-term thinking being the secret sauce to building wealth. Now, I know we live in a world of instant gratification. But if you really want to succeed with money, you've got to think like a tortoise, not a hare. For example, let's talk about Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time. He is known for saying that his favorite holding period for a stock is forever. He doesn't try to time the market or make quick flips. He is in it for the long run. And let's be real here. Most of us can't say no to checking our phones every 5 seconds. So thinking about decades ahead might sound a bit daunting. But here's the thing. Compounding is magic. And we don't mean Harry Potter stuff here. Folks, we're talking about the real life power of money multiplying over time. Think of it like planting a tree. It doesn't just grow overnight, but over time. It becomes something massive. So, by consistently putting money away in the right places and doing that over a period of years, even decades, you will see growth you never imagined. But only if you think long term. Lesson number 3. Luck and risk play a huge role in financial success. Alright, I need to hit you with a dose of humility here. And this is something Housel really hammers home. Luck and risk play a major role in financial outcomes. Think about it. We all love to hear about self-made millionaires. But let's be honest, there's an element of luck in every success story. For example, Jeff Bezos started Amazon in his garage, but he also had the right place, right time factor. The internet was just booming and he had the foresight to jump in. But let's not forget there are also a million entrepreneurs who've had similar ideas but didn't catch that lucky break. So, what does that mean for you? It means don't beat yourself up about things you can't control, like timing the market or getting the perfect investment advice. Similarly, you shouldn't give yourself all the credit for your success. Luck and risk balance each other out in ways you'll never fully understand. So practice gratitude and avoid being too hard on yourself when things go wrong. And remember, money isn't a zero-sum game. Just because someone else gets lucky doesn't mean there's less money for you. There's room for everyone. Lesson number 4, the concept of enough. Here's where the book gets really interesting and maybe a little uncomfortable. The idea of enough. The book argues that we often get stuck in a cycle of more, more, more. And yeah, it's tempting. But Housel says we need to understand when enough is enough. Let me hit you with an example. Have you ever noticed how some people make $50,000 a year and are perfectly happy, while others make $5 million a year and are always chasing the next thing? It's not about the number, it's about how you define enough. If your needs are always moving, you're never going to catch up. But when you can figure out your own baseline and recognize when you've hit enough for you, you free yourself from the constant chase. And here's a funny analogy. It's like trying to fill a bucket with water that has a hole in it. The water keeps draining out, so you can keep filling in. But it'll never stay full until you figure out how to patch the hole. And that hole, it's your constant desire for more. Once you patch it, you can actually enjoy what's in the bucket. Lesson number 5, be rich versus be wealthy. You've probably heard someone say, I want to be rich. But guess what? Housel explains that there's a big difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich means you've got a big paycheck and a lot of flashy stuff. But being wealthy means you've got assets working for you. You don't have to work for money anymore. Your investments grow on their own and you can live off the returns. True wealth isn't about the stuff you have. It's about having control over time. When you think about it, isn't that the dream? Being able to choose how you spend every day without worrying about money? Lesson number 6, the importance of patience and compounding. All right, let's go back to compounding for a second. Because if there's one thing this book makes clear, it's that patience is your best friend when it comes to wealth building. Compounding works its magic when you give it time. Let's take an example. Imagine you're saving $1,000 every month. If you do this for just 1 year, you're looking at $12,000, right? Not bad. But if you keep doing this for 30 years with an average return of 7% per year, you're looking at over $1.2 million. And this is where the real power lies. The longer you wait, the more the money grows on its own. Patience is the key to unlocking that magic. So when people talk about becoming wealthy, they're not talking about flipping the switch overnight. It's about giving things time to snowball. Lesson number 7, track your progress and be realistic about setbacks. One of the hardest parts of managing money is tracking your progress and staying motivated, especially when things don't go according to plan. But Housel gives us a little secret here. Track your progress, celebrate small wins, and be okay with setbacks. If you have a setback like spending a little too much this month, don't panic. It's about the long game. Just like dieting or exercising, some weeks will be better than others. But the important thing is to keep going and measure your success over time, not day to day. Lesson number 8, the emotional side of money. One of the biggest insights from this book is how deeply emotions influence our financial decisions, whether it's the fear of losing money, the excitement of a windfall, or the stress of making ends meet. Our emotions shape how we handle money. And here's the kicker: awareness is half the battle. I repeat, awareness is half the battle. Recognizing when you're making emotional decisions, whether it's splurging after a bad day or holding on to an investment because you feel like it's going to bounce back, is crucial for making better financial choices. Keep your emotions in check and let logic and strategy guide your moves. Alright, now let's talk about how you can start managing your money better today. Here are some practical tips. Number 1, automate your savings. Set up an auto transfer into your savings account, just like brushing your teeth. Do it without thinking. 2, live below your means. Sounds boring, but it's the only way to make wealth grow. Don't chase a lifestyle you can't afford. Number 3, start small but start. Maybe it's just $5 a week into an investment account. That's okay. Compound that and it will be bigger snowball than you think. 4, avoid lifestyle inflation. As you earn more, don't immediately inflate your spending. If you get a raise, don't use it to buy a fancy new car. Keep living like you're broke in a good way. 5, invest in what you understand. Don't just chase the hottest stocks or trends. If you don't understand it, don't touch it. Alright friends, here's the big takeaway. Money isn't just about math or numbers. It's about psychology. The way we think, feel, and act towards money shape our financial reality more than we realize. By practicing long-term thinking, understanding the role of luck and risk, and learning to manage our desires, we can set ourselves up for a life of financial freedom. So, if you've made it this far, here's what I want you to do. Start small. Make a small commitment to change one thing about your relationship with money. Track it, stay patient, and remember, compounding works best when you're consistent. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the psychology of money, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this. And as always, let's start thinking smarter about money, one small step at a time. Catch you next time and happy saving.